Festival 20 years ago in 1992. Anybody? Anybody? Just me then. Okay, cool. So I just want to establish that over the whole room.
You're giving away your age, man.
I'm like, okay. I was 18. I was only just legal to go to it as well. So anyway.
I was only just legal to be in it.
Tell me, we had this chat downstairs that you were saying you're still not 100% sure as to why so many people have this movie in their head, why it's connected with so many people. I mean, when you came to this movie, when you were offered the part in the movie, and when you tried out, did you look at the script and go, yeah, you know, this could be different to everything else, or was it just another job?
You know, I had worked with Harvey Keitel in Thelma and Louise, and we had a really good time together. He's such a good actor, and but the scenes that I did with him in that picture got cut out, and I really missed him. And when I read Reservoir Dogs, I was wondering who the other guys were going to be, and they said that Harvey was attached to play Mr. White, and that was really the only thing I needed to know, because I wanted to work with him, and I knew that that was enough for me to just get back together with him. And it was really one of the best screenplays I think I ever read. It was so different than anything else I had ever read, and it made no sense, but so many guys named after colors, and everyone kills each other at the end. And a lot of people told me not to do it, but I trusted Harvey, and I figured that if he was going to do it, then I'd be safe. But I wanted to play Mr. Pink.
You read a lot of stories about that on the internet, so now that I can get this from the horse's mouth, you auditioned for more than one part. You auditioned for was it for Mr. Pink and Mr. Blonde as well?
No, I didn't. I already had Mr. Blonde, because they just flat out asked me to do it. But Mr. Pink had more scenes with Mr. White. And
that was your main concern.
And he gets away, he gets away with the diamonds at the end. Right? So, you know, I prefer to get away with the loot than to be shot. So I told Quentin that I really wanted to play Mr. Pink. And he kept saying no. And so I said, can I come in and actually read for Mr. Pink? And I'm not a great reader, I'm not a great auditioner. And so he let me do it, basically. He humored me. And I got ready for the whole thing, and I memorized all Mr. Pink's dialogue. I went in there, and he was sitting there, and he's like, okay, go ahead. And Michael, go ahead. And I said, oh, okay. So I started rambling off Mr. Pink stuff. And he was patiently watching me and nodding his head. And Harvey was sitting on the couch. He had no shoes on. He had bare feet. I don't know why I remember that, but when I got finished, Quentin, he just went, no. No. I was, you're Mr. Blonde, and that's it. And I was like, failed, I had failed my audition for Mr. Pink. And I said, well, who in the hell is going to play Mr. Pink? And he said he met an actor in New York named Steve Buscemi, who's wonderful in the film, let's face it. And I had never met Steve, so I didn't know the physicality of Steve, but I realized that Quentin had an idea in his head of the physicality of the men. And I actually went home not being in the film. And about 2 days later, Quentin called me on the phone, and he goes, look, do you want to be in the movie or not? And I said, well, yeah, of course, yeah. And he goes, well, then you have to make up your mind, because everyone else is done, and we're going to start shooting. So, are you in or out?
It's almost like deciding whether or not you want to be in or out of the heist. It's the same thing.
I I said, okay, Mr. Blonde.
You get the cool character. I don't see why that would even be a concern. He drives the cool car, he gets to come in out of nowhere. He's evidently the coolest man in the ensemble, with all respect to Harvey Keitel.
Yeah, but he gets blasted by Tim Roth.
That's a fair point.
You know, he's shot by Tim, you know, it's kind of...
Is that the concern sometimes for an actor, to make it to the end of the movie alive? And then you've done well.
I just wanted to get away. I wanted to be the one who got away.
Is it unusual for, and again, it's the one scene that you know, that sticks in people's heads, is obviously the scene with the ear. But is it strange to, as an actor, be remembered so vividly 20 years later for something that people never see? I mean, you never see it happening on screen. It's something that happens entirely off screen. Is that strange? Is that unusual?
Well, the reality is that we shot that 4 times, and we did 4 takes of it. And there is a version where, in fact, there's a big close-up of the side of the officer's head, and I actually saw off the ear, and there's blood shooting out as it's coming off. And the last one we did was the one where I step out of frame and it goes off of him and you just hear it. And I think when he was watching stuff back and looking at footage back, he came to me and he told me, I'm going to use the one where you don't see you do it. And I think it was the right choice, because you imagine it, you don't have to see it, which makes it more savage. That it puts you in the head and blames you for thinking about what it must have looked like. See?
The reason Jaws sticks in your head so much is because you don't see so much of Jaws for the whole movie. When you actually get to see the shark, it ruins everything.
It was you know, I didn't know what to do with the ear, and yeah.
Was that you? That was purely you?
Yeah, that was just me, Mike. I mean, I hadn't rehearsed the scene. I didn't want to rehearse it. I wanted to wait until the day that we actually shot it. And I said, listen, let's just roll on the damn thing, because I don't know what I'm going to do. And how much room do I have on either side of him? And so I figured I had a few feet on either side of the chair. But when I had the damn thing in my hand, and I walked off and I was holding it, Quentin was standing back by the camera, and he was saying, toss it, toss it, toss it, toss the ear, throw it, Michael. And if you watch the picture and you see me holding it, you can see that I'm thinking, because I was hearing him telling me to throw it. But I didn't really want to do that. I just didn't think, I thought it was a bit cruel.
A little too much.
It was a bit much to toss it, and so I spoke into it.
Less cruel.
Yeah. Just on the spur of the moment, I thought it's an ear after all. So I said, hey, you know,
I suppose on a slightly connected note, this is a question that you get asked all the time, because I've seen it in interviews before, and it rears its ugly head every couple of years. I would be remiss if I didn't ask it. Is it too late for the Vega Brothers movie? The one that was talked about on and off and on and off and on and off.
It's never too late for nothing, but the thing is that if I had played Vincent Vega, I would have played my own brother. So now that John Travolta is Vincent Vega, there can be the Vega brothers. But it was originally supposed to be like a prequel. But now that both of them are dead,
that's awkward.
Well, it's going to be now that the two of us had twin brothers. The twins are on a jet to Los Angeles. They've both been released from incarceration. And they're coming back to LA to avenge the deaths of their brothers. So, you know, It's a genius thing Quentin came up with.
Yeah, there's something of a winner with that, absolutely. I was looking at just plain numbers over the course of, and this is, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is the 30th year you've been in movies and in TV. 30 years this year. I looked it up.
Have I?
The Internet Movie Database says it's so, then it's so. But you've been in.
I try not to think about things like
It's best not to. But you've been in pretty much bang on.
I'm still 25 in my head.
You are. There's nothing wrong with that. Just because you've been very busy.
Everything else too.
You've been in bang on 200 projects over the years. I mean, I was looking, this year alone, you're going to be appearing in 10 movies or 10 shorts or 10. What, is there a reason why? Do you just work because you love working? Do you love because, because you need to pay the bills? Do you love, because you just, it's what you're compelled to do? Why do you work at that level?
Well, first of all, I have 5 kids. I have 5 sons. And believe me, it's a wild bunch. And I'd like to give them things in life that I can give them. And Daddy needs to stay busy to take care of his boys. And yeah. And see, I'm just a big bear. And I love my boys, and I'm blessed and lucky that I have a career and I have some things to work on, and anybody who's able to do what they love to do and make a living at it are lucky. And a lot of pictures that are listed on the IMDb aren't necessarily being made. Some of those things, you meet someone in an elevator, or you're getting a physical from a doctor, and he suddenly says, my brother-in-law wrote this great script, and I just happen to have it right here, and could you mind reading this? And you're like, oh my God. Well, yeah, okay. But then the problem is, a week later, it's on the IMDb in pre-production.
You're rumored to be involved in that.
Yeah, and it's not really happening. So it's physically impossible to be in 13 movies.
Although you seem to be managing it most years. I mean, that's an impressive work ethic.
I'm busy.
How did you get into the acting thing in the first place? I mean,